Welcome to Session 8, Quadratic Equations. Let's take it step by step. A quadratic equation has an x squared term, and its graph is a smooth U-shaped curve called a parabola. Today, you will learn 3 reliable ways to solve quadratics: factoring, square roots, and the quadratic formula. A quadratic equation always has a squared term, and it usually has 2 solutions. On a graph, it makes a parabola. The places where the curve crosses the x-axis are the solutions, also called the roots. This curve crosses at -2 and +2, so those are its 2 solutions. If a quadratic factors nicely, factoring is the fastest method. Take x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. We already know it factors into x plus 2 times x plus 3. So we rewrite the equation as x plus 2 times x plus 3 equals 0. Here's the key idea. If two things multiply to 0, then at least one of them must be 0. So we set each factor equal to 0. X plus 2 equals 0 gives x equals -2. X plus 3 equals 0 gives x equals -3. The two solutions are -2 and -3. When a quadratic has no middle x term, use square roots. For x squared equals 16, take the square root of both sides. But remember, there are 2 answers, positive and negative. So x equals +4 or -4. Never forget the negative root. When factoring is hard, the quadratic formula always works. For ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Memorize this formula. It can solve any quadratic equation. Let's solve x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0 with the formula. Here, a is 1, b is -5, and c is 6. Plug in to get 5 plus or minus the square root of 25 minus 24 over 2. That is 5 plus or minus 1 over 2. So x equals 3 or x equals 2. The part under the square root, b squared minus 4ac, is called the discriminant. It tells you how many real solutions there are. If it is positive, there are 2 solutions. If it is exactly 0, there is 1 solution, and if it is negative, there are no real solutions. Every parabola has a turning point called the vertex. If the parabola opens upward, the vertex is the lowest point. If it opens downward, the vertex is the highest point. For y equals x squared minus 4, the lowest point, the vertex, sits at 0, -4. Here is a word problem. A rectangle is 2 units longer than it is wide, and its area is 15. Let the width be x. Then x times x plus 2 equals 15, which becomes x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. This factors into x plus 5 times x minus 3. Since width must be positive, x equals 3. Remember these traps. A quadratic usually has 2 answers, so do not stop after finding 1. When you take a square root, always include the negative root. And in the formula, be very careful with negative signs, especially when b is negative. Great work today. You can now solve quadratics 3 different ways and read a parabola. To read the full lesson notes, see more worked examples, and practice GED questions, visit the course page at www.bridgetoexam.com. Try factoring first, and use the formula when you get stuck. See you in Session 9.